Hey everyone, in this video I'm going to share with you the one principle that I use whenever I design any slide at all, and that is to design for curiosity. Let me explain. If you think about the last movie that you watched, any movie at all, there's always 2 points, the starting point and a finishing point. The movie itself takes the audience on a journey from the starting point to the finishing point. And it does that by revealing event by event. First this happened, then this happened. Because of that, this happened, and then this happened, and finally, that's why this happened, right? Now, the reason you do that as a screenwriter is so that you don't reveal everything at once. It makes the audience feel the need to actually stick to the story and figure out what's going to happen next. And when at the end, everything is revealed, the audience is satisfied. This is a great way to think about how you can break down your presentation into beats as well, because that's the term that you use when you're doing screenwriting. It's called beats. All of these events that lead you from the starting point to the finishing point, they're called beats. So if you think about a presentation that you might do, for example, a presentation to the board, say for example, you're presenting a couple of solutions for a problem that you're facing in your project and you want the board to make a decision for you, you would break down your presentation into something that looks like this. So first of all, you present the problem itself, you share with them the research you've done and all of the findings that you've gotten out of that research. Perhaps you present 1 or 2 solutions, the pros and cons, and then you make a recommendation on to which solution you think is the right one. And then finally, you prompt them to make a decision and say you need approval for funding by next week so you can move forward with the project, right? So these are the beats that you would use for this presentation. Let's take a look at another example. Say you're doing a status update meeting, which is quite common in most organizations, in most projects. This is a very simple structure. You start off with, here's what happened last week. This is what we're doing this week. And this is what we plan to do next week, right? It's very simple. So again, when you think about the structure and you've got beats like this, you can then present them as slides. So this particular presentation might have 3 slides. And if you go further down, if you zoom into one of those slides, you might have something that looks like this. And this is where the concept of designing for curiosity comes in. And the way I do it is I break it down into 4 steps. The first of that 4 steps is to decide the purpose of that particular slide. And if there is no purpose, take it out of that pack. Okay, decide what the purpose is, either to share a concept or to present a timeline or to explain a theory, whatever it is. Make sure you have a purpose for every single slide that you design. Once you've decided on the purpose, you need to divide that slide, divide it into meaningful beats. So for example, if your slide looked like that earlier, now it's got 4 sections, 4 beats. Next, hide everything that's upcoming. Just show the one that you're going to present right now. Step 4 is guide them through the remaining beats one by one, right? So as you're presenting, you show them the beat that is related to what you're saying next. So this is an example of a agenda slide. I think this is very common in most organizations as well. This is actually an example of an agenda that of a workshop that I ran 2 weeks ago. And it was to teach a team how to actually create animated videos using PowerPoint. So in day 1, there's planning, script writing, storyboarding, asset gathering, and then day 2, there's editing, post-production, and publishing. Now, I've given away all of the information in the slide like that, just like that, and everything is out there, plain to see. If I am actually talking about a single point in this slide, no one's going to be listening to me because they're all going to be scanning the slide to see what's happening next or in day 2 or whatever. So if I design this slide for curiosity, using the method that I just spoke about, here's what I might do. First of all, I would decide this slide, I'm going to actually share with them bit by bit what the agenda is for the workshop. That's the purpose of this slide. Second thing I'm going to do, I'm going to have to divide these into beats. So an easy way to do it for this slide is to divide them into 7 beats because there's 4 items on day 1 and 3 items on day 2. Third is hide. Once I've decided there's 7 beats, I'm going to hide everything except for the first beat, right? Planning. And then show them and talk to them about that, and then hide that one and show the next one, and then show the next one, and then show the next one, and then show the next one until I reach the end, right? And that's the guiding bit. So let's see how that looks like in action. So here's how I would do it. So folks, this workshop is broken down into a couple of parts, and I'm going to walk you through what each of those sections are. So first off, we're going to do some planning. We're going to think about how we plan our actual video from start to finish. Once we've got a plan in place, we move on to the most important bit, which is script writing. We'll write our scripts, and I'll show you some tools and techniques that I use when I do my scripts. And then we'll move on from there using that script to create a storyboard. Now with that storyboard, you can then figure out what assets you need for the video, what clips, what images, what text, what special effects, whatever it is that you need, you can gather the assets that you require to develop that video. Once you've got all your assets in place, you can start editing on your timeline using the tool of your choice. And then you move on to post-production, putting in the music, the voiceover, the sound effects, whatever you need. Once you've done all that, I'm going to talk about how you can publish your video and promote it online. Now, all of this is going to be done over 2 days. And this section here on this left-hand side, 1, 2, 3, 4, is what we'll cover today. So that's how I would present this if I was designing for Curiosity. I wouldn't show them everything all at once. I would show them beat by beat. And that way the audience stays around and they pay attention to what I'm saying as I'm presenting it. So I hope that made sense for you, and I hope that you can make use of this principle when you're designing your next slide. Thanks very much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next video. See you guys.